It was a Saturday morning, and I got up. It must have been like a mother's instinct feeling that I got. And I woke up and I thought, I need to go and see Jade. Something's not right. There's a feeling that I got in my stomach. I'll never, ever, ever forget that day. And I got in my car, and it took me 10 minutes to get to Huyton. And I got to the front door, and it was really, really quiet. And I thought Jade must be upstairs bathing Thomas and Joseph. And I put my key in the front door, and Jade had took her own life. I won't talk about methods because we can't do that. But I found Jade, and two little boys were there. And when I walked in, they started crying. And that was when my life completely changed. It's bad enough losing a child, but when you lose someone to suicide, and the circumstances of what Jade did is even worse. Because there's a lot of unanswered questions to suicide, which I'm never ever going to get. The first 8 months after losing Jade, I was in a really, really dark place myself. I wanted to take my own life because of the pain. I've never ever experienced pain like it in my life, but I'm here today to tell my story. That I didn't take my own life as much as I wanted to, but I didn't. Because I really believe I've got a lot of resilience. I have a lot of strength, inner strength, and that's when I decided that I was going to set up a project in honour of Jade, because I didn't want another family going through the pain that me and my family have gone through after losing Jade to suicide.
Hello, Jack and Jade Roberts Project. I am Simon, like. I'm Jack Roberts. I work at the J.L. Roberts Project in Liverpool, Shrewsbury. It's a mental health and suicide prevention organisation that saves lives every day. We're open Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it's just a very admirable job to have at 20 years of age. So a little bit about Jade is when she was younger, she's like Dennis the Menace. She would be very mischievous. She was 10 years older than me, so she would put me in a suitcase and throw me down the stairs and laugh at the top of the stairs. She had a lovely smile, beautiful face, just stunning, you know, a very lovely girl. And she really looked after her brother.
The last 6 months, I could see that Jade was really struggling. But as Jade's mum, I never ever thought for 1 minute the things were as bad as they were. You know, Jade used to say to me, I don't want to be here anymore, Mum. And that was a huge invitation that Jade was thinking about suicide. A huge invitation. Because when I'm delivering the training, I always say that people who are thinking of suicide, they don't say to people, I'm thinking of killing myself, I'm thinking of suicide. They don't do that. But what they do is we call them invitations. The invitations are there. Whether it be consciously or unconsciously, the invitations, they're inviting help. And the invitations were there with Jade because she has anxiety, depression. So the last 6 months, Jade really struggled with her mental health. She wasn't the Jade, the happy Jade that Jade was. She was really struggling.
I don't know what the reasons were, and I can't answer that for Jade, but she did suffer with depression and anxiety from a young age. And then, you know, unfortunately, on April the 23rd, she passed away. And obviously, your whole world changes then, doesn't it? You know, you go from being a 17-year-old lad, going out with your friends, doing what you do, and then you find out your sister's took her own life. You know, it's a hard pill to swallow. So yeah, that's why the Jade Roberts Project's open, and it's because of Jade, unfortunately, passing away to suicide.
So the suicide rates are the highest. The suicide rates are not going down. They are not going down. They're the highest in England and Wales. What I believe is, I don't feel there's enough support out there for people. They're not given. I truly believe as well that suicide, out of all the deaths, that suicide can be prevented. And I believe that the suicide rate is going up because there are not enough organisations to support people. You know, I set up this project, I set it up in Shoebrook because there's a lot of addiction, a lot of poverty around here, and this is where I need to be to support people who are thinking of suicide or who are in a suicidal crisis. When I first opened, it was like 6 months of being open, and I was wondering, why is there so many women coming through to the project, coming in? You know, the men were coming in slowly, but it was more women. And I think there was 2 reasons behind that. One of them was, you know, we were quite pink when we opened our logo. We had the butterfly, it was very pink. So we don't know whether the male, you know, the guys were thinking, is this just for a female? Is it a project just for women? And then another reason why I was getting so many women coming through was because there's nowhere for women to go to who are thinking of suicide. There isn't. You know, there's like different organisations that work with women with mental health, but when it comes to suicide prevention, there isn't. And that's why we're getting so many women coming through. Most of them say that they feel like they're let down by the system and that no one gives a shit, basically. So what's the point? You know, most of the clients that come in actually say that to us. So I truly believe that if there was more organisations like the Jade L. Roberts Project, that more suicides can be prevented.
So we're in a generation now that I've quickly realised that it's okay to talk about how you feel. You know, men especially need to talk because a lot of men suffer in silence, and it's not okay to suffer in silence. You know, women, you know, also suffer in silence, but not as much as men that we've discovered since we've been open. So if there's any men out there that are suffering from mental health, suicidal thoughts, and are too scared to reach out because it might hurt their ego, stuff like that, this is the right time now. This is the right time because there's no judgment. There should be no judgment because for all we know, it could be your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your dad who's suffering. So we need to make sure that you ask questions, how are you, and actually mean it, because we come across in this day and age that you ask the backhanded questions, how are you, but you don't really care about how they answer the backhanded comments. But if you generally ask your friend, your dad, someone you love and care about, a work colleague, how are you? For all you day, you know, they might feel comfortable in that moment and in that interaction to open up. Then there's organisations like us that the criteria is quite easy to get in. You're very unfortunate not to get into the Jade Roberts project. And we have a lot of men coming who just go to football, who do normal stuff, right, coming in and speaking out. And for me, that's enough. When you come to the project, you get treated with care, you walk in, it's a family run organisation. So you've got me, Jade's brother, Jade's sister Danny, Jade's mum, Stacey, right, and you've got all brilliant volunteers across the board with numerous amounts of experience as well. It's a very good place to come. You come in, would like a tea or a coffee, okay, let's have an assessment, and then you're not on a waiting list for 9, 10, 11 months, because by then, you don't even know if that person's going to be alive, right? We have to act fast, and that's what we do with the project. So anyone here is suffering in silence, and I'm telling you right now, don't suffer in silence. There's places like us that will help and save you, and suicide is preventable.
I'm very, very passionate now when it comes to suicide prevention. So last year, I did the Safe Talk. I went to Preston for 2 days, did 2 days training, and I'm a Living Works Safe Talk trainer now. So I deliver Safe Talk, which is suicide awareness for everyone. I truly believe, because our mission at the Jade Roberts Project is to create a suicide safe community. So I want as many people trained up in Safe Talk to help us achieve that mission.
The organisation has 3 principles. So it's prevention, which is the counselling service. You're preventing getting to suicidal thoughts and attempts. Then you have postvention, which is families, friends who have been affected by someone who has been suffering with suicidal thoughts and maybe even attempt to take their own life. They'll come into us. We deal with families that are bereaved by suicide. And then the very nitty-gritty part is intervention, and that's where we do an intervention that day with someone who wants to take their own life.
When we first opened, I got £10,000 off the National Lottery, and that was enabled me to pay the rent up, 6 months rent up front, and buy a couple of things for the organisation. So the first year was, we got 10,000 off the lottery, and there was a lot of fundraising that went on. I think we raised about 30,000 in our first year of opening the project. Without the fundraising, we wouldn't have been able to have kept our doors open because of the outgoings. We've been open 2 years in November, and you know, I was interviewed by the Echo in April this year because we were struggling with funding. I think I had 6 weeks money left in the pot. I was interviewed by the Echo, and unfortunately nothing came out of it. No one came forward to try and support us. Now the funding is running low again. There hasn't been a lot of fundraising going on this year for some reason, but a few people have sort of come forward now, and they are doing fundraising to try and bring a little bit of money into the project, but we're really struggling. The referrals are coming in daily. The organisation is getting bigger. I need to start employing people because of how big we're getting. So yeah, I need funding. You know, we did put an application form in a couple of weeks ago, and it was on a scoring system, and we scored 65 and we didn't get it. There was like 2 or 3 questions. The marking system was down to how they mark it. So we need funding.
I'm going to tell a story now that nobody knows really. I've never actually spoke to this, told anybody this story, but I come here and I done a safe talk with Tracy, and because since starting my channel I've had to take courses on mental health. I think it's important that I say the right things to the people that are struggling, and I've invested in a number of courses, mainly mental health awareness courses, because it's important that I say the right things, but it's also important that I don't say the wrong things as well.
Definitely.
Now that's critical when someone opens up to me about having suicidal thoughts. So it was vital that I took the suicide prevention course here with yourself. Not long after that, I come across someone who was really down, depressed, and when finally breaking through their guard, which was a technique that I was taught here. There was techniques on how to break through that guard, wasn't it? And be persistent, if you like. And I followed the procedure to A, say the right things, B, keep them safe, and C, get them the professional help that they needed in the end.
Yeah.
Now, I've done that with this person. Would that person be with us today if I hadn't? 100% not. Because I know that from afterwards. Now, am I saying this for a pat on the back? No, definitely not. I'm saying this to highlight the importance what this organisation offers. It's vital.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The training that I received here saved that person's life, not me. It was the training at this organisation. Now that's just one person. You've saved hundreds of lives over the 2 years that you've been open, no doubt. I urge people to do this because you never know when you're going to need it. And do it before it is too late. Know what to say, when to say, what not to say before you need to have that conversation, because when it comes to it, you never know. It probably will come to it with probably everyone at some stage. You don't want to say the wrong thing. You have to, and you have to break through them barriers. If you think someone's not okay, don't just let them tell you that they are okay. You've got to be persistent, and that's something that you taught me. It's a technique that you taught me, and that saved just one person's life. You're saving hundreds of lives. So I want to thank you for that, because at the end of the day, you actually saved that person's life, and they're still with us today. So thank you very much.